long time traveling down this hard and rocky road. We're all just trying to survive, walking together and sharing the load, doing all we can to stay alive. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. We may be weary, and sometimes we just don't know how we can keep on keeping on. Take one day at a time and trust that history will show. When we're united, we are strong. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. So take care of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again somewhere just around the bend. Each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again, I believe, just around the bend. Just around the bend. I believe the journey's nearly over.
I believe the journey's nearly over.
I believe these troubled times will end.
I believe these troubled times will end.
I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. Just around the bend. It amazes me how strong the power of love can be. Sometimes you just take my breath away. You watch my love grow like a child, sometimes restless, sometimes wild. Sometimes you just take my breath away. To slip by, and it's too good to lose, too good to be there just to you. I'm gonna stand on the mountaintop and sing the news that you take my breath away. Sometimes it amazes me that you take my breath away. Yeah, and it's too good to slip by, and it's too good to lose, too good to be there just to use. I'm gonna stand on the mountaintop and tell the news that you take my breath away. Sometimes it amazes me. Sometimes it amazes me. Sometimes it amazes me. Sometimes it amazes me. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear for the whole world to hear. I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bars, oh, that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree that every man should be free. Oh, I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I can do. And though I'm way overdue, I'd be starting anew. Well, I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if I found I could fly. Oh, I'd soar to the sun, and I'd look down at the sea, and then I'd sing, 'cause I know what it feels to be free. Well, I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if I found I could fly. Oh, I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know. Yes, I'd sing, 'cause I know. Well, I'd sing, 'cause I know what it feels to be free. Ambassador to England or France. You might like to gamble, or you might like to dance. You may be the heavyweight champion of the world. You may be a socialite with a long string of pearls, but you're gonna have to serve somebody.
Serve somebody.
Yes, you're gonna have to serve somebody.
Serve somebody.
Well, it may be the devil, or it may be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody.
Serve somebody.
You might be a rock and roll addict prancing on a stage. You might have drugs at your command, women in a cage. You may be a businessman or some high degree thief. Well, they may call you doctor, or they may call you chief, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. Yes, you are. You're gonna have to serve somebody.
Serve somebody.
Well, it may be the devil, but it may be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody.
Serve somebody.
Well, you may be a state trooper. You might be a young Turk. You may be the head of some TV network. You may be rich or poor. You may be blind or lame. You may be living in another country under another name, but you're gonna have to serve somebody. Yes, you are. You're gonna have to serve somebody.
Serve somebody.
Well, it may be the devil, but it may be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody.
Serve somebody.
Well, you might like to wear cotton. You might like to wear silk. You might like to drink all in the mood for a melody. You got us feeling. I hope all right is the answer.
All right.
Yeah. Here we go. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free, that's right. And he's quick with a joke, oh, he'll light up your smoke. But there's some place that he'd rather be. Oh, he said, John, I believe this is killing me. Has a smile run away from his face? Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La 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 la, la 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now, Paul, he's a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. That's right. And he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy, and probably will be for life. Oh, and the waitress is practicing politics as the businessman slowly gets stoned. Oh, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Oh, come on and sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling all right. That's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday.
Are you still with us?
Thank you very much. Good night. It's been lovely being here again. It's always
It
lovely
is.
to come
It
here on a
is.
Sunday evening, and
It is.
I know that actually Sue and I just wanted to say have a very good night and enjoy yourself, whatever you're doing. We're off to watch. I think it's what is it? The nursery thing. The
Call the midwife.
call the no, it's not call the midwife. It's search the midwife or whatever it is.
Hunt the midwife.
Yeah, so it's been lovely. Have you enjoyed the show tonight?
It's been fantastic.
Have you enjoyed it?
I particularly
I've enjoyed
liked your impersonation of Billy Joel.
Do you know what I thought? I just looked at a picture of him, and I've just got to say that Billy
We're doing a couple of songs more Billy by Billy tonight. Out of honour to Billy.
Absolutely. Well, Owen pointed that out. He said, get well soon. Be good to have you back.
He's got water on the brain, hasn't he?
Oh dear, that's not very nice.
It's not very nice. I had a shower the other day and I got some water on my head, and that wasn't. It's not the same, is it?
Made your hair shrink.
Well, do you know what? That thing, that Vicky put up this week, I thought it was quite nice, the 2-in-1 conditioner,
Yes.
shampoo and conditioner. How does it know which one to do
go
first?
Yeah.
I quite like that. And I the other thing, the other one, wash and go.
Yeah, you washed
I
and
washed and it went, And I just got to say, all those little jokes of products that say something but not enough. Any other products out there that actually are completely useless? Keep it clean, please, people.
Yeah.
But if you've got anything, write in now, as soon as you can. Now, Sue's on the machine tonight, but we have the absolute pleasure of sharing the machine with the one and the only techie genius here, who's been accompanying me and my wife, and with his own wife.
Yes.
On our little excursion,
Yes.
more and on
To
the land of the Welsh. I mean,
dear.
I have to say,
Welsh accent incoming,
it
everyone.
was, but it wasn't enough. Not in all shops, was it? It wasn't enough to say I'm come from Cardiff.
No.
Oh no,
No.
absolutely not.
No.
They immediately walk in the shop. They start speaking Welsh. Unfortunately for them, because I'm fluent in Welsh. I am. Yaki da, bori da, I said to them. And that only went to prove that I was indeed a fluent Welshman. And they say, do you know what the word fluent Welshman is? It begins with 2 L's, whatever it is. And it, right? And it said, it's cloppered. Okay, it's spelt double L, CPDSR, one vowel. Nobody knows what that vowel is. And it ends with an R. And when you go
Or a
through
CH.
Snowdonia, as we did,
Oh, it was beautiful.
oh, it's fantastic. But try saying, if you stopped and asked the old bloke at the corner, when the idea of asking a man with his staff and a sheepdog, excuse me, can I find a way to so and so? If you did it in Wales, you go, I'd like to go to, I'm trying to get to. You'd have to have an umbrella just to protect him from the spit. It is an unpronounceable language. I saw Bryn, however. Bryn everywhere. Bryn I Cole, or Bryniath, or Brynido, or Diniach. Now, Gareth Hill, help us here. I don't think you speak a word of
I don't think
Welsh,
Gareth's
do you?
in yet, actually.
Is he not in?
Not yet, no.
Oh, what's wrong with him?
Dunno.
I'm doing all these Billy Joel songs, and I thought
Haven't
he'd
seen
be
any
in.
comments. Gareth, if you're in, come and say hello.
Come
on
and
the,
say
on the
hello, and
stream.
at least help us with the Welsh. Anyway, that's a pretty good crowd.
It is.
And we know at the end of May, you're sitting outside with your barbecues and your families, and you don't care about us. And the manager, well, even at this point, she's put some lippy on. She's put the brush through her hair.
I know.
I've done that.
You
through
said to me
mine.
earlier, make sure you brush your hair.
Yeah, I did. Well, I did.
I think that's pot
We've got a
calling
very
the kettle.
special guest in later on for you all,
Yeah.
haven't we, Sue?
Yep.
And they're coming from a long way, and so it's a pretty good crowd for a Sunday. And the manager, she gives me a smile, 'cause she knows that it's me. Obviously, they've been coming to see, to forget about life.
For a while.
Look at that, you see that? Look at that. Jerry's been into tune. I hope so. A while, and well, the piano it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone it smells like a beer, and they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling hard. all right. As the piano dies down here in the brand new, all new Steinway Room, as designed, made, created by Rachel and no less than David Hicks, who is sitting looking at me right now. Here he is, in all his grandeur and stature. He's taller than both of us put together, Sue. Do you know that? And he was with us in Wales and was speaking fluent Welsh by the end. And it was very impressive. Him and his delightful wife came and spent the week with us. Well, Sue, it was a week, wasn't it?
Well, we've actually been away for a while.
Oh, Sue.
We have
Been
been
away
away
for
for a
months.
while because if you think about it, we did the show and then we were away for about a week, unavailable, and then we went to Appledore in North Devon. So for a few days, I had the Devonshire accent from the JV, and then
That's right, you did, didn't you?
then we left and we drove up to North Wales and went to Beechwood Court, where we then did a week. So it's been quite a time.
It's been actually a heck of a time.
It's been
heck
quite
of
a time.
Traveling.
It's been quite a time. Lots of miles, lots
Lots
of
of miles.
people, and lots of lovely, wonderful people. It was lovely to meet a number of people from the JV community who were there, particularly in Appledore, and then half a dozen of them turned up at Beechwood Court as well. And then we've also met lots of lovely people who are now online for the first time. So welcome more people to the JV community, people.
Hallelujah. We love that.
So-
Welcome to Jane and Peter.
Yes, they've said hi from the Wirral. And,
From the Wirral, of course,
from
he's
the
from.
Wirral.
Well,
Yes.
we called it Liverpool. I don't care what he says. And that was the joke all the way through the whole time. And listen, I don't know whether we've got her in or not, but I it's just us tonight, really. But plus a special guest coming in later.
Mm-hmm.
She's coming in. She's travelling from far, so she has to. She's not in yet, but she's
A
going
nice
to ring
surprise
us
guest.
when she's coming in, and we're going to go and sit in the chair with JV, and going to do an in-depth interview. You're going to be thrilled, actually, with this one. Now, I think it's Sylvia's birthday,
It was Sylvia's birthday this week.
and she
I
always
don't know.
loves
I
a
don't
bit
know if
of-
Sylvia's in yet, but
Do we know?
I don't know. So just sing something.
Well, I'm going to
else,
sing it
maybe.
for her because I
Okay.
think anyway.
All right
Then I'm going to sing some Billy. I'm going to sing some Elton John, "Candle in the Wind," just to because I've never sung that one before, and I thought I fancy doing that one, and it's such a meaningful song, and we can do some hymns as well from the Hymns Project album. We've got "Because He Lives" as well for somebody else. We've got we've got songs for a few people.
Yes, we have.
And well, we're just gonna have a bit of a blast. And this one, it comes right down, and it actually in the wee small hours of the morning. Do you know, sometimes that is my favourite time in the whole of the day. I like coming down stairs. If Sue's gone to sleep, often Sue goes to sleep well before me, and I like coming downstairs. I don't know about you, David, but the silence of the house always used to entertain me. I loved the ambience in the house at that time of night, maybe 1 a.m, and I would sit quietly, would you believe, and I do love the silence of an evening. But this one was it was always a sad song, this one. And in the wee small hours of the morning, while the whole wide world is fast asleep, you lie awake think about the girl and never ever think of counting sheep when your lonely heart has learned its lesson. You'd be hers if only she would call in the wee small hours of the morning. That's the time you miss her most of all. When your lonely heart has learned its lesson, you'd be hers if only she would call in the wee small hours of the morning. That's the time you miss her most.
That was lovely. Martin Nordell said that's one of his favourites.
Hello, Martin. Now, here's a man. Do you know what? It's always a success when people join us and keep joining us. What we love is loyalty. We love loyalty to our brand of JV. But what it means is the brand of JV is about community. It always has been, and it always will be. It started out seeking community. We're at a time of no community. April the 5th in 2020, when, actually, those of you who don't know, is when we started.
We did.
Many of you have been in since the beginning. I think David joined us. When did you join? From the first one. And he's been with us ever since and has become, and it's quite interesting, you see, how the community has spawned fabulous friendships. I was saying this to Erica.
Yes.
Erica and
Who
David.
was away with us at Beechwood Court,
They were
which was
at
lovely.
They were.
So we had lovely Erica and David, and we had David and Mary, who were sitting in a little cottage in Wales somewhere, but still watching us, which is brilliant.
Oh, are they? Are they still there?
Yes, and of course we had David and his lovely wife, Liz. So we had half a dozen of you, and
Fortunately, we did.
well, there were 12 guests, and it made life easy because there were 6 men, and 4 of them were called David. So there was no trouble
Yeah.
trying to remember names.
No names. But we just said
And there was-
David, and 4 people turned
And there
around.
was one Eric and one Erica, so we did pretty well.
But we were saying I was saying to Erica that from that, from that came people who generally, when I was in, when we were in the depths of it, and in the depths of kidney stuff, it was the community, JV community, that stayed close
Yes.
and near
Yeah.
and kept asking more than nearly anybody, actually, and newfound friends. So from community, more community was spawned, and that was so now it's difficult to get rid of them, frankly. David, it's difficult to get rid of you, okay? And so we continue on.
We do.
And Martin is an example of that through the Isle of Wight.
Yes.
And the community that Adrian Pinnock and Nicola, who is out looking after her mother and father. Father is in hospital with a UTI, so we think of him. And Nicola, who is with her mother, I believe, at this point. And
Yes.
so Adrian, the chairman of our YGAF, You've Got a Friend Trust, is on his own, I hope, watching this in the splendour
He is.
of his house.
He is, and also Sylvia is on. So Sylvia, I hope you caught that last
Did you catch that?
song
Just please.
for you. in the
Sylvia,
wee small
if you're
hours.
on, could you
Happy
just tell me you're
birthday
on?
for this week. She is on. She's told me she's on.
Oh,
but
she's
I'm
on. Did you-
just
I-
checking that she caught that was a
Yeah,
dedication
that was for you.
her birthday.
The wee small hours. But I'll do another one anyway for you. This one, let's see, Fly Me to the Moon. Who can we do this
This
for?
one is for Jackie Owen. Jackie, your
Jack.
birthday was on the 17th, which was a week ago, I think now, but I've lost, I don't know what date it is at all, 25th today.
Is it?
So yes, it was last weekend. So happy birthday for last weekend, Jackie. And this one is for you.
Fly me to the moon. Now let me sing among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Come on and fill my life with song. Let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Come on and fill my life with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. Oh, in other words, I love you. Boy.
Very good. Very good. Like
Well,
that.
did you like my solo there?
Yes, I did like it.
That's
Go on
quite
then.
tricky, David. I'll
Do
tell you
it
that.
again so we can see your fingers working.
You want to do it again? You
Yeah,
ready?
go on then.
No, you see, now you've made me do it. Come on and fill my life with song. Let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. Oh, in other words, I love That's with an alternate ending.
Very good. You got 1.5 songs there, Jackie, for your birthday.
Happy birthday, Jackie.
Happy birthday
And
for
I think
last
I'd like to
weekend.
do that one too for Anne, Joanne and her mum, Wendy.
Joanne Newson. Yeah, she's in. She said she's in.
Who's
That's
out
great.
there, and she asked me to do a song
Yeah,
for
so
her.
there we are. So that should cheer you up. It was a lovely,
Yeah, it was.
upbeat number.
And let me tell you, that was my piano practice. I remember going to a Billy Joel concert. We were asked, did I tell you this time? I think I did.
I'm sure you have.
When I went to I was in an aeroplane. Those of you who didn't hear about this.
Yeah, we'll tell it again.
I'll tell it again. I was in an airplane coming back from doing a concert an opera in Barbados, as you do, you know.
I think he just wanted to tell you again that he'd been to Barbados to do an opera.
Yeah, and why shouldn't I? I can have a little drink of water here. And so I'd done an opera, and it was been written by the drummer from the band The Police, Stuart Copeland. And that's the Stuart Copeland. Remember, I think I told you
Yes.
the other week,
Yeah, yeah.
the Hello magazine. That's the time I got into Hello magazine, and I had my arm around the lady, his wife.
His wife.
And they were taking pictures, and we were in the after show, and it was there, our arm round, and it said I can't remember her name is Mrs. Copeland with minor celebrity Jonathan Veira. It's never been
Well,
never
at least
more
they called you a
offended.
minor celebrity. It could be an unknown celebrity.
It could be non-celebrity. It could be nobody.
someone we have no
With the
idea who it
nobody,
is.
Jonathan
Yes, that's
Veira.
right.
Well,
Who is
yes,
that man?
it is interesting, isn't it?
Who is this man?
I guess isn't it interesting to discuss the way that we adore celebrity? Everything on television, they do antiques road trips, celebrity antiques road trip, celebrities.
Do you know what's really distressing?
I
Is
never
when you're
know any of
watching
them.
it, you think, I don't know who
I
they are.
literally don't know who these people are, and I've watched them, and I say, Sue, who's this? She said, I don't know. But is it just because we're old and we don't?
Yes, it's
we
because
don't
we're
tap
old
in?
and we don't watch television.
We don't tend to.
No.
Actually, can I just ask people out there, how many of you watch terrestrial television? BBC One, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5 News. How many of you watch that as your main thing, or how many of you watch catch up? So, on BBC iPlayer or things like that. How many of you actually watch television live, in other words? So you can put down live or catch up. That's all. Just put those two words, live or catch up. I'm just interested in seeing how people catch their media these days, because people of a certain age have always watched television as it happened. So it'd be on BBC One. It's at 9 o'clock on a Monday. That's when they're going to watch it. But now the way that we catch things is we tend to watch it because we're never around. We're always busy. So watching television of an evening is not something we watch. So we're watching a series again now that we've watched before, but that's on Prime or whatever, Netflix. But we don't tend to watch it live on BBC One, do we?
No.
And why is that, Sue?
I think because we're often out or we're often busy doing something else, so we just don't do it. We tend to watch things that we've perhaps saved up. People tell us, oh, this was a good series, so then we watch that. But yes, we tend to watch films or series, don't we?
We tend to. Anyway, I interrupted my story, didn't I? I interrupted myself.
Oh,
No, that's
yes,
interesting.
yes.
I always interrupt myself, don't
Yes. You don't need any help. You went off down the B321.
I did. There we go. The B321. And by the way, the B321 leads to the C road that leads you to. You know that? You know where it takes you to?
Where?
I shall leave that for another day.
No.
I know. Sue. I'm mysterious, if nothing else.
There are lots of things.
So Billy, he goes on stage, and I'm seeing it. I saw him at Earl's Court, and they got me this woman on the plane. Said, "Oh, you wouldn't be interested. You're classical." But I said, "What do you do?" She said, "Oh, I do the lighting for rock and roll shows." And she said, "But you wouldn't be interested in stuff like that." I said, "Well, who do you light for?" She said, "Well, I light for Billy Joel." I said, "Just my biggest kind of artist hero," because he was a pianist and a singer, which is what I wanted to do. And he was very clever in his lyrics and stuff. So she gave me tickets for this, and I took a friend. I think it was Peter Graham at the time from Northern Ireland. I seem to remember he could not believe his luck when I gave him a couple of wee tickets, and he sat there right next to it was VIP tickets. And he said, "Jonathan Veira, how have you got this? I have no idea. You're a good wee friend, you are now." Indeed, right you are. So we sat there and we watched him come out of the piano at the bottom,
Yes.
standing on the piano, playing "It's Gonna Be a Hard Day's Night, and I'm gonna work it," just on the guitar.
Okay.
And then he jumped from onto the piano and he started the song.
So do you want to do that
No, hold on.
one week? To
Sorry?
come out the hole in
Yeah,
the
could
floor
you-
on top of the
could you-
Steinway?
David, could you arrange
that's
for
your
it,
next
please?
job.
Could you I want a hydraulic system that raises his piano. It's on wheels. It's not going to be that difficult anymore. It's movable. And I just want it to come up about 6 inches. All right? And then he started. He went straight into. That one.
You can't do that yet, can you?
And I've never. It's very, very hard. And he attacks it like this. Anyway, he got about 15 bars there in him, and he said something which was not very nice, and then said, "Oh," he said, "I've messed it up again. I've got to start it again." Everybody cheered. Only British audiences, they cheered because he got it wrong, and he started it again. And I thought, if it's good enough for Billy,
It's good enough for
it's
you.
good enough for me. Anyway, what was I going to sing? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do a bit of Billy, and I'm going to come back to some Billy as well, because unfortunately, and Anne Wadey sent me a message saying that he'd cancelled and that there was some issue, and we saw he got it was water on the brain, and his doctors have advised him to stop. Now the thing about Billy Joel is that I was reading this, that he broke Billy Joel's historic sold-out monthly residency, and he did 150 performances at Madison Square Garden once a month for 150 performances. Nobody else has ever done that, ever. And he had, when he did other stadia, he would go on for night after night after night after night. When I went to see him, it was fantastic because he just used to say, he didn't have a program. The band would just say, he asked the audience, he said, "What would you like?" And if I say, bottle of red, bottle of white, that one, or She's Always a Woman. And that he would take the most cheers, and whichever one got the most cheers, his band started that one. So it was an incredible, he would just sit at the piano and play them all. And it was just phenomenal. And this one of my favourite songs of his, and I don't know why it is, but it just kind of sits in the perfect place for a song. Some folks like to get away, take a holiday from the neighborhood, hop a flight to Miami Beach or to Hollywood. But I'm taking the Greyhound on the Hudson River line. I'm in a New York state of mind. I've seen all the movie stars in their fancy cars and their limousines, been high on the Rockies under the evergreens. But I know what I'm needing, I don't want to waste more time. I'm in a New York state of mind. And why it's so easy living day by day, out of touch with the rhythm and blues. Oh, but now I need a little bit of give and take. The New York Times, the Daily News. Comes down to reality and it's fine with me, 'cause I've let it slide. Don't care if it's Chinatown or up on Riverside. I don't have any reasons, I've left them all behind. I'm in a New York state of mind. It was so easy living day by day, out of touch with the rhythm and blues. Oh, but now I need a little bit of give and take. The New York Times, the daily news, comes down to reality, and it's fine with me, 'cause I've let it slide. Don't care if it's Chinatown or up on Riverside. I don't have any reasons, I've left them all behind. I'm in a New York state of mind. 'Cause I'm taking the Greyhound on the Hudson River line. 'Cause I'm in a New York, I'm in a New York state of mind. Oh, if there was a note above that.
Yeah, I was going to say. Not enough notes on the piano.
Gareth not in. Can you believe that?
I know.
It's not fair, is it? What's the time? It's 22. I think a little video soon of
little
your
video?
choice, my darling.
Okay.
I'm tired these days. I'll tell you what, we've come back and we've been sleeping. Unbelievable. But here, have a video on us. Evening. Good evening, everybody. I can't sing now. I'll play this introduction for about 5 minutes while I get my breath back. I've got plenty of nothing,
nothing's plenty for me. I got no car, I got no mule, I got no misery. The folks with plenty of plenty got a lock on the door. Pray somebody's going to rob him while he's out of making more. What for? Why got no lock on the door? That's no way to be. They can steal their rug from the floor. That's okay with me, 'cause the things that I prize, like the stars in the skies, are free. Oh, I got plenty of nothing. Nothing's plenty for me. I got my gal, I got my song, got heaven the whole day long. And no use complaining. Got my gal, got my Lord, got my song. Sang awfully well. I got plenty and nothing. Nothing's plenty for me. I got the sun, I've got the moon, and I've got the deep blue sea. The folks with plenty, gotta pray all the day. Seems with plenty, you sure got to worry how to keep the devil away. Away, oh, I ain't a-fretting about hell till the time arrives. Never worry long as I'm well. Never want to strive to be good, to be bad. What the hell, I is glad I's alive. Oh, I got plenty and nothing. Nothing's plenty for me. I got my gal, I got my song, got heaven the whole day long. No use complaining. I've got my gal, got my Lord, got my song.
Well, that was fun. For those of you who didn't know, that was 2005 when we filmed at the Von Arno Theatre. And they said to Jonathan, would you like someone to just warm up the crowd before you do the show? And he went, no, I'm fine, that's what I want to do. So he did this big thing, told everyone he was going to come on stage left. And of course, he came on from behind the theatre. Enter Jonathan at the top of the stairs. And then what happened was not scripted. But of course, my husband turns it all into a huge joke. The gentleman who's working for the company who were paying to make this was at the end of the row that I was sitting on. He was looking at me going, what? When is he actually going to sing? But it was all wonderful. It was all fantastic. And it's the most amazing opening to a concert ever, I think.
And it was one of the biggest selling
It was
DVDs
fantastic.
across
Yeah.
the
It was
country
wonderful.
and indeed
Yeah.
the Europe. And it was used all over the place.
Yeah.
People took it all on ships going out to
Yes,
places.
they
They used to
did,
watch it
didn't
as their
they? Yeah.
entertainment. They
Yeah.
put the whole show on for an evening's entertainment.
Yeah.
That's what they would do.
Yeah,
People used it in churches all over the country as their alpha supper
Yes,
thing.
they did. They
You know,
did.
that was
Yes,
often
yes.
the way they used it. They put the show on, and they then didn't have to pay for me. I feel, Sue,
What, my darling?
I feel People Get Ready.
Okey-dokey.
I think that's one
let
that I
me
fancy.
Let me
And I
find
just
the
this one I recorded
track.
on the album
Travelling Songs.
Travelling Songs. People get ready, there's a train coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear diesels hum. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. People get ready for the train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key. Open the doors and board. There's room for all among the loved and lost. Mark Edwards on accordion. Now there ain't no room for the hopeless sinner whose heart on mankind just to save his own soul. Have pity on them whose chances are thinner, 'cause there's no hiding place from the kingdom throne. Oh, people get ready, there's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. You don't need no baggage, just get on board. Whatever the words are, something. Banjo being played by Stuart Townend. Stuart Townend, the songwriter, on banjo. Train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith. You hear the diesels a-humming. You don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. People get ready, the train a-coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels a-humming. You don't need no tickets, you just thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Oh, we had such fun recording that album. One of the best albums we recorded and one of the least selling. And we never understood why.
No,
There was not
I-
one
my-
big hit on it
No,
apart
not-
from
well,
apart
yes.
from,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, watches. I know he watches. Yes, I know he watches you and me. He watches you and me. With a little bit of a
Well, that was rather lovely.
nice ending, and that's for
That was
Judy
very
Steele,
nice.
who
Oh,
is
that's lovely.
we were talking to her recently in the week, and she was going through particular things, and hopefully that those things have been helped and
Yes.
you know
I hope so.
sorted.
But she was one of the people that wrote in. A lot of people wrote in. Sorry, I put my camera on. A lot of people wrote in saying how long they've been watching for and how they've missed so few and how much this community has meant to them as well, actually. And Judy was one of those people about how important you've all been to her and how you've helped her through some very difficult times. So,
And I think it worked for those people that came along on the Conway, and there were very few people. We were expecting a whole lot more. And so it was quite surprising to find that we had 6 people that we knew and 6 people we didn't
at the beginning.
at the beginning. And
We
so
knew them by the
but by
end.
the end, we knew them, and they they got to know us. We think of Dave and Janet, and Dave was a fascinating man, and it always just confirms to me the wonderful reality that each one of us has a story to tell.
We do.
And so the real thing is, have we got the time to listen to people to find out? Because listening to Janet, she had a fantastic story to tell. And she was a captain in the South
She had
Sally
the
Army.
most moving story to tell about Aberfan, didn't she? That was
Really,
fantastic.
actually.
And then
Aberfan-
Jane
yeah.
shared a wonderfully moving story about a boy losing a friend at Hillsborough. And
Extraordinary. And
you know,
singing.
it was just fantastic to.
And what was the Oceans? No.
No, I'm special because God. has
I'm
loved
special because it's God. Da-dee-da-da-dee. The one I used to play with Graham Kendrick
yeah.
back in the day. And that was a very moving story, actually, of great loss and terrible sadness and finding God in the darkness, actually. Finding God in the darkness. And that's one thing that all of us, I think, at that place have experienced darkness in our lives and difficulties. And great difficulties and loss. Lovely Eric lost his wife 6 years ago. And yet showed great, we started with gratitude. We went up onto it was called Mother
Mother
Max.
Max.
And the people who had owned it first, I think in the 20s, this was a place where she would go. This was her place, and she would look out to, well, it was actually looking north up towards, was it north?
Conway and, yes, the Great Orme.
The Great Orme, which was that was quite terrifying to go up and to meet cars coming down, heading at you. I think the first you did that yourself, didn't you, David? And as you drive up, normally there's a kind of code, but then I realised we're in Wales and there is no code, and you just drive off the cliff.
Just
There was that
reverse-
look
just
about.
reverse
They had that
back.
look in the eye, didn't it, as they were coming down? I would say you're going over that cliff if I were you, because I'm not stopping, you know. And we went, as we were going up, I kind of indicated to the bloke, go back. I did that kind of go back look. Here's the look. Here it is. Which translated roughly into Welsh means double L. Double L, lots of consonants, with the occasional vowel just thrown in. Not enough vowels in the language. Can I just say that about Welsh? Think again. How did you form a language without any vowels? It's like going... You got to have a vowel. Or two. Just spread them more liberally. You see, I would be happy if I could just have a vowel somewhere, you know, in there. It would just
There
make
are
me
vowels. Stop making a fuss.
a happy man. You
There
know?
are vowels in there. Are just more
You've got to find them.
consonants.
You've got to find them. And they're a long time before you find one. And you've got so many, by the time you've gone through the consonants, you're tired. It's time for a sleep. It's time to go and you're not going up Snowdonia. Sue said, I said to her, let's go up Snowdonia. Let's go up the pig trail, I said. Sue said, no. She said, I can't get up. She said, you can go up. She said, I know you can get up to the top. When she said meant the top, she meant to the top of the car park. In the car. However, David and Liz, I think they were walking all over the place.
They were. But can I just say, going back to the video, watching you run down those steps and onto the stage.
It's even now. It puts,
I can tell that was 20 years ago.
I think I probably hurt myself then.
Yeah, you probably did, but you just carried on.
Carried on.
You?
And you know why it was, don't you? New shoes.
Your shoes slipped.
She made me, and I might just say this, ladies and gentlemen, I hate getting new things. All right, I'm not a new things kind of person. All right, and I just don't like them. My mother will, when she watches this, she always used to say to me, "Oh, when you were young, you hated going and buying new things."
He hasn't changed, Mum. He has not changed.
Never.
My only way that I can do it is to get him into Marks and Spencer's, get him in the changing room, and then whilst he's changing, get the staff to go in and remove his trousers so that he can't leave.
Countless times.
And then I just bring lots of clothes for him to try on, and that's his yearly shop.
And that's not even that's not.
It's not a joke. It's reality.
Right now.
What are you doing now?
I think I might do a bit of Elton.
Okie dokie.
Because I think it's a kind of. I've never done this song before. I think it's an E. Goodbye, Norma Jean. Though I never knew you at all, you had the grace to hold yourself while those around you crawled. They crawled out of the woodwork and they whispered into your brain. They set you on the treadmill and they made you change your name. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. I would have liked to know you, but I was just a kid. The candle burned out long before the legend ever did. Loneliness was tough, the toughest role you ever played. Hollywood created a superstar, and pain was the price you paid. Even when you died, all the press still hounded you. All the papers had to say was that Marilyn was found in the news. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. You know, I would have liked to know you, but I was just a kid. The candle burned out long before your legend ever did. Goodbye, Norma Jean, from the young man in the 22nd row who sees you as something more than sexual, more than just our Marilyn Monroe. Goodbye, Norma Jean. No, I never knew you at all. You had the grace to hold yourself while those around you crawled. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. Well, I would have liked to know you, but I was just a kid. The candle burned out long before the legend ever did. Your candle burned out long before your legend ever did. Whenever I see this song, it's so sad. Of course, you know, it was used for
Diana's funeral.
Diana's funeral. He changed the lyrics. But what's so interesting, and this is so speaks to the tatty world of media and culture, so-called, the world of fame, and what the press do and what people like to do is they build the people up, and once they're at the top, they go, well, he's rich, or she's rich, and now she's rich, we can ruin her.
Yeah.
And particularly for people who came from very humble backgrounds, but either happened to have the good looks in this case, and the intelligence that she had was quite renowned. She was not a bimbo. She was not somebody to be looked down on. But she was created as this sex goddess that everybody had to objectify. And I think this song really does. It says, she was more than that, and you people ruined her. You lived your never knowing how to cling to. No, you crawled out. They crawled out of the woodwork, and they whispered into your brain. They set you on the treadmill, and they made you change your name. And that's the first. For me, it was the first road. Whenever you had to change your name, you weren't who you were. You were somebody else. They made you into something, and you, because they were paying you lots of money. We watched a really disturbing interview with who's the comedian? Jim Davidson.
Oh, you watched it, yeah.
Well, you were.
I listened to it.
You listened in, and you were just going, horrible, horrible, and it was quite horrifying, really. I think there was sorrow in him. I really do think there was. But he gave this bravado. He was terrible. He
didn't express much regret.
No, in front of his children.
Yeah.
His children, his grown-up children were there. And I apologise to my children every time I see them for the life I lived as a singer, which was hugely demanding. And it's so interesting, isn't it, that the life that I lived. One of the girls who may be watching, the Jacqueline, one of the staff. You know, she suddenly said while we were doing the meeting, we did meetings for them as well. We did a little reflection in the morning. And we played them a song. She realised it was me that was singing.
It's funny. It was sweet of her, actually, because she listened to it, and it was His Eyes on the
His
Sparrow,
Eyes on the
I
Sparrow,
think.
the recorded
And at
version.
the end, she said, "Oh, that was lovely." She said, "It sounds as if you could be singing that." And everyone went, "Yes, it's him." Oh, you're famous.
And it was quite
Jonathan's
disturbing
going,
in one way
hang
to
on,
me.
hang on.
Go on.
Don't do it too much.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
wanting
I don't
to-
mind. Well done. It's nice. But what happens is it feeds that machine of people. And then once you've become that, then once they're finished with you, they're finished. And this is the story of Marilyn Monroe and the sadness and the degradation in which they reported this. You know, the only thing, says Bernie Taupin, the songwriter, they could talk about was the fact that they found you naked
Without your
in
clothes
the room.
on.
And it's just they created you and they can destroy you. And what it says to me is always that life for me, this is me. I know there are people out there listening without faith, but life for me without faith, as an artist, doesn't find anything. It is vacuous because the only thing you can keep doing is taking that drug of performing. Just keep doing it until you keep looking the same. How many people do we know, Sue, who are famous, who wanted to look the same as
Yes.
they did when they're 20s and 30s, and they're in their 60s and their 70s, and they get the hair, so it's more so from a distance you can recognise them because their whole thing is recognition. Well, I mean, I never have. I think genuinely cared about any of that. Doesn't bother me, and I think how different the Christian gospel is. That it actually does not say that stuff is important. What's important is in the artistry, is in the doing well, practicing, putting the effort in, putting the work in. Whatever you do, says the Bible, do it as unto the Lord. But anyway, I wanted to sing this song because it was a song I grew up with. And it's not going to be one of the songs my mother would like, but and some of you won't even know it. This one, this one I'm going to do for a dear friend who's been in and had an oblation, and also at the same time we've got our dear friend Steve Martin. So Al Duncan who is out there in Staines, who's a real contributor to this show and to this room. He decorated this room. He came in, and so one of many people who made it what it is over the time. And he asked if I would sing something for him tonight. And he loves the Eagles, and I know that Adrian over in the Isle of Wight, he loves the Eagles as well. We would listen to him in the car the other day on the way through through Snowdonia, and I thought this one is a good one. And get well soon to Al Duncan and to Steve Martin, both having stuff with our hearts, and also for Adrian in the Isle of Wight. Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding fences for so long now. Oh, you're a hard one, but I know you've got your reasons. These things that are pleasing you will hurt you somehow. And don't you draw the queen of diamonds, boy. She'll beat you if she's able. You know the queen of hearts is always your best bet. Now it seems to me some fine things have been laid upon your table, but you only want the ones that you can get. Desperado, oh, you ain't getting no younger. Your pain and your hunger, they're driving you home. And freedom, oh freedom, well, it's just some people talking. You're a prisoner walking through this world all alone. Don't your feet get cold in the wintertime? The sky won't show and the sun won't shine. It's hard to tell the nighttime from the day. You're losing all your highs and lows. Ain't it funny how the feeling goes away? Oh, desperado, why don't you come to your senses? Come down from your fences and open the gate. It may be raining, but there's a rainbow above you. You better let somebody love you. You better let somebody love you. You better let somebody love you before it's too late. For Al, for Steve, and for Adrian tonight. One more song, and then we're gonna. And I think I quite fancy it being "To God Be the Glory." I think.
Yeah, this was a great one. We sang with the people this week, wasn't it? We you taught it to us,
I don't know if
and
I've got the words, but never mind.
I did give them to you, did I
Did you?
not?
Okay.
Have a little look, have a little rummage through.
No, don't think so. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think we can find it somewhere. Maybe they're underneath here. Maybe they are. No, Love Divine, but not the other one.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we've just remind me of the great things he has taught us. I can't remember the order. Okay, go. I'll rely on you to tell me the next, as we did actually in Shrewsbury. To God be the glory, great things he has done. So loved he the world that he gave us his Son, who yielded his life and atonement for sin, and open life gates that all may go in. So praise to the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Oh, praise to the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give him glory, great things he has done. Oh, give him glory, great things he has done. That's what I need. Oh, that's the other one I've got. Oh, perfect redemption, the purchase of blood. So I love that next one. To every believer, the promise of God. The vilest offender who truly believes, from Jesus a pardon receives. So praise to the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Oh, praise to the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give him glory, great things he has done. Oh, give him glory, great things he has done. Great things he has taught us, great things he has done, and great our rejoicing through Jesus the Son. Purer and higher and greater will be our sense of wonder when Jesus we see. So praise to the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Oh, praise to the Lord, let the people rejoice. Sing it with me. Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give him glory, great things he has done. Oh, give him glory, great things he has done. So praise to the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Oh, praise to the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give him glory, great things he has done. Oh, give him glory, great things he has done. To God be the glory, to God be the glory, to God And why don't we put Love Divine on, so because that's one I haven't sung for ages. Love Divine, it's from the same album, Love Divine or Love's Excelling, a new version. It's a very beautiful one with a lovely accompaniment. Beautiful violin. And harp, of course. Love divine, all love's excelling, joy from heaven to earth come down, fixed in us thy humble dwelling, all thy faithful mercies crown. Jesus, thou art all compassion, pure unbounded love thou art. Visit us with thy salvation, enter every trembling heart. This one featuring the St. Saviour's Choir. Breathe thy loving spirit into every troubled breast. Let us all in thee inherit, let us find thy promised rest. Take away the love of sinning, Alpha and Omega be, end of faith as is beginning, set our hearts at liberty. Come Almighty to deliver, let us all thy grace receive. Suddenly return and never, evermore thy temples leave. Thee we would be always blessing, serve thee as thy hosts above. Pray and praise thee without ceasing, glory in thy perfect love. Finish then thy new creation, pure and spotless may us be. Let us see thy great salvation, perfectly restored in thee. Till we cast our crowns before thee, lost in wonder, love, and grace. We loved doing that, didn't we?
That is such a beautiful arrangement
Beautiful
of your
arrangement.
new tune,
Beautifully
and
done
the
with Mark.
you sing it beautifully, and the backing of all the sort of orchestration,
yeah.
the violin, is just like velvet
Oh,
around this lovely
is a
tune. It just
beautiful
really brings those words
A
out.
work of
doesn't
art,
it?
actually,
Yeah,
that one.
it is. It's lovely.
And it was difficult to sing,
Yes.
I have to say at the time.
Yes.
But
yes.
anyway, Sue, a video of your choice.
Video of my
and
choice.
They've arrived. The person
Okay.
has arrived
Are
in.
you sure?
She's,
Are you
No,
sure?
she's arrived in.
You can
so
see,
look,
can you?
just
Okay.
do it now. We'll go and give her a cup of tea, and
Okay.
you put a nice
All
video
right
on,
then.
and we'll come back in, and we will see you in a minute. All right, little song. I think you might know. Join in with me if you do. Probably nothing worse than watching a fat man dance, is there? Little song I learned way back in the 70s. Hope you enjoy it.
He was falling asleep in the chair again. He's an old man,
Old
everyone.
man.
He's an
It's really-
old man.
I really feel like an old man, so I thought I'd put a trendy jumper on,
Yeah, what? You couldn't find it?
Oh. Hilarious. Well, I thought, actually, what we do is rather, because we got the wonderful David here, Liz has let him off for an evening from doing his DIY or painting the garden or whatever it is that he's going to be doing. I thought I haven't had you as a special guest in this seat ever. It's always been you at the computer, if indeed we did do that. But I think some people don't know much about you. And they don't realise that the woman, look, I suggested something here, and look at that.
I just
She's given
rustled it up.
little floral arrangements. And she goes, a floral arrangement.
I'll give you 5 minutes.
giraffe.
I'll give you 5 minutes before you knock it over.
How would I do that? And she's bought me a glass of water. Isn't that lovely, Ellen?
I
It's
brought
hers.
it for
Sue,
myself.
Tell us what makes you tick then? What is it that what floats your boat, girl?
That's a stupid question.
It's not a great question.
What
What
floats
is
my
it that,
boat?
what is it that but what's the thing that if you had to say if they cut you open, what would they find? Apart from one kidney. What would they find? What would they find in you? Deep in your cross section. Because I can understand diagrams. You
You're
understand.
hopeless with cross sections.
Terrible. But now, there are. Imagine you're an IKEA cross section, right? Connect this to that and the other. But deep inside of it, what would you find inside of you?
I'm struggling to answer that. I have to admit, it's quite a difficult question to answer. What floats my boat? What is deep inside me? What?
Well, who are you?
I think, like a lot of people, I'm a sort of a mixture of things. And, I could be someone who could crawl around the floor with my grandchildren 1 minute and someone who can take a funeral another second, who can stand in the kitchen shouting at her husband and another one. There's an awful lot of facets to all of us.
What did it say that Rachel Slough shared the other day? It's hard being a woman.
Yes.
At one point,
You want to spend money, you want to...
you want to kill people. You want to kill someone. Then you want to lose £5, and then you want to eat something sweet.
Yes.
It's very difficult
Yeah,
being
it's
a
very
woman.
difficult being a woman. So I think, like most people, I am just, many things to many people. But I think what I found out about myself is I am a person of calm, a person of, just I think calm and peaceful inside. Does that make sense? You live with me. You tell me.
Well, no, it's not me. It's interesting because when you ask somebody who they are, it's very difficult to say I'm like this because it sounds slightly arrogant.
Well, it does. It does,
But-
because I'm just waiting for you to say no.
Well, no. I think at the heart of it, I know at the heart of it, although I get annoyed by people, I love people. So there's a dichotomy within all of us. So it's not one thing. It never is one thing. It's something else. I see you as a strong woman, an immensely strong woman, psychologically. Obviously, weak and feeble physically, but psychologically, what Nick describes as what does he describe it as?
Describe me as the pillar of the family.
Of the family.
Pillar of the family.
And I think that is true. I think that through you, if you cut you into the centre of you, would be integrity. You have
I think what Nick was trying to say by calling me the pillar was a sort of, I'm the strong, stable one. And it's what I often say about you and about the family is that they know that if I say something is okay, then it's okay.
Tends to be.
And having a family of sort of quite strong personalities, I think it's quite nice for them to know where normal lies.
Yeah, and so that's it. Where does that come from? Your early years, you were just an ordinary. I've seen the pictures. You're a lovely wee girl, not unlike Poppy. Full of enthusiasm, quite quiet, but people.
I was very
people
shy.
pleaser.
I was very shy. And my mother sent me to ballet classes just so that I would learn to do something where I could perhaps be outgoing. And I think up until the age of 5, I just sort of clung to my mother and just stood behind her skirts all the time. And they couldn't believe it when they went to the little show that ballet classes have. And I did this little dance along with everyone else because I knew I could. And that was the point. I'd learned something I could do in front of other people.
So basically, once you know how to do something,
yeah.
then that's it.
Yes.
You're done.
Yes.
And that has characterised our 42 years of marriage. And I thought I'd use this opportunity to ask you all the questions, the things that actually I haven't known about you for 42, nearly 43 years. Thought we'd get it all out in the open now. But it springs from a child. I mean, most of our characteristics spring from our childhood. I was a cuckoo in the nest, definitely. And I think my parents don't really understand where I came from.
No.
But you were given many experiences, weren't you, as a child? Tell us what happened in 1966, apart from the World Cup.
Yes. So in 1966, my parents went to live in Germany. Well, we all went to live in Germany, so it's with my parents and my brother. And the point of this was that my father was in the Ministry of Defence, and he got a posting out there. And so it was a great opportunity.
A position of major,
yeah, so he was in the Ministry of Defence, and so he went out to work. And so this was a really big thing for us because I was 9 at the time. So I was uprooted and taken out to Germany. So I left behind the school that I knew, my best friends, and it was a very strange experience. It was exciting because it was interesting to go to a different place. But for someone who's quite home-loving, and I like to be safe in my home, I think this was quite a challenge for me. And to go to a new school and to meet people that I had never met before was hard. But at the same time, my parents made sure I had experiences that would open me up to other people in other places
In other
and
cultures.
Yeah, and I really respect them for that. I really respect them for that. Yes. My father in particular really wanted me to understand other people, I think. So he would
helped him to do
I
that.
think it had. And so when we went to Germany, we visited different places in Germany. We went to other places on holidays. And a lot of people, when they live abroad, they tend to use holidays to go back home. And we never did that. The only time we came back was for my aunt's wedding. And the rest of the time, any holidays were in Italy or places like that. So it was a great experience. And one year, I think I must have been about 11, they took me out of school for a week and we went to Berlin because my dad was working there. And again, very bold thing to do, to take the family there. And I saw...
Yeah, we must reflect on the fact that it was 66. So 45, it's only been 21 years. And the effects of the war were... major.
And there were some terrifying moments. We went up by train across Germany into Berlin, and I got bored. We were sitting in the dining car, and I said, "Oh, can I go back to the cabin?" And my dad said, "Yes, off you go." So I pottered back to where we'd been, and I looked out of the window because we'd been stationary for a long time. And I looked out of the window, and there were all these guards with machine guns outside. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I'll just go back to the dining car because we'd stopped at the border and there was all this sort of stuff going on.
Kind of checkpoint Charlie-ish.
But
stuff,
to get into East Germany, that's the point. We were going from West Germany to East Germany, and Berlin was in the heart of East Germany.
Yeah.
So we had to get through East Germany. So suddenly it was very different, and it was frightening. It was very frightening.
You experienced that.
I
you
did.
and I experienced the going through it. Well, I went through checkpoint Charlie. But you did as well.
Yeah, and it was very hard. It was very hard to see, and to see the children and to see the families coping with being over there.
Yeah.
But all credit to my dad
He made
for
you do it.
knowing that actually this would be shocking, but it would be formative.
He was also unfashionably very close friends with a Jamaican guy.
Yeah.
Back in London, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Which was not.
Yeah.
It was the son of a doctor.
Yes.
Who came over.
Yeah, one of his great mates. And I think it's interesting that I knew that he was great mates with this family, but it was only when I saw photographs later on
Yeah.
that I realised that his great mate was actually black.
Yeah.
He never said to me, "Oh, he was black."
No, because he didn't matter
No.
to Dad.
No.
That's why I always found with your father, he was completely about the person. When I came into the family, there was this little brown boy with no prospects. He was more, are you going to do something? You know,
Yes, that's right. Yes.
more that
Yeah.
than anything else. And so you grew up, it seems to me, when you saw me, you never saw colour, you never saw, and you never have. In all the time that I've known you, there's
No.
never been a moment when
No.
you would think about people in those identity politics type of way. You would simply see people as people, each person individually. You'd never generalise. But it's made you into a very strong person that people look up to, and they look towards. But how is that? Why do you think that is?
Well, again, I think possibly there is this coming back to this sense of calm, a sense of peace, that people know what they're going to get with me. I'm not a surprise, I don't think. I think someone once described me as a bit of was it anathema they used? Sort of they couldn't quite work out what I was thinking because I was quieter than other people around. But I think that's probably why people look to me, because they know that there is that solid steel down the middle, maybe.
And you can't say this, but you're a very bright girl, and you studied biochemistry at university. You went to university, and that was hard. You wanted to become a doctor.
Yeah, I wanted to become a doctor, and I was rubbish at physics, which was not a good idea, really. So, I basically my teacher said that I would fail my physics A-level, which is not a good look on an application for medicine, really. So I stood not a chance. And so I was very disappointed when I didn't get through. I think now I'm glad, because I don't know that I was bright enough. So I did what a lot of people did, and that was my father was very keen for me to go to university, and because I'd got my A-levels, I instantly had an offer from Manchester University to do biochemistry. And I thought, oh, yes, that sounds good. And my dad was very keen, thought it sounded good, liked it. And I went. And by Christmas, I discovered I absolutely hated the whole thing.
But the value of you was that even though you hated it, you followed that degree through and you completed it.
Yes, at the end of my first year, I went to my tutor and said, I'm really not enjoying this. I'm thinking maybe I need to change the course. And he said, what are you not enjoying? And I said, I'm not really enjoying the chemistry. And he said, well, I've got good news for you and bad news. It gets worse. It gets more chemistry than anything. And so I then started looking at other courses, and I applied to a couple. I got accepted onto one of them, but it was a 4-year course. So there was not enough money in the pot for me to do another 4 years at university. So I thought, I've got a choice here. I can either leave and go and study something else that's a 3-year thing somewhere else, or I can stay and finish. And I thought, pragmatically, and that's probably the word that describes me, pragmatism. Pragmatically, I've done a year. I've got a year and a half effectively to go now, and I'll get a degree. But it was such hard work. And I have to say that my recurring nightmare, if I'm under stress, is that I dream that I'm doing my finals and I haven't a clue what what I'm looking at. I haven't done any revision, which was not true. But I didn't really understand the subject, I think. So.
That's more troublesome, isn't it? When you can look at it, but you don't understand what you're looking at. But I don't want to censor on that, really, because what it showed me was that you were essentially this person that would double down, just go, right, I know I can't, but I'm going to do it.
No.
And this has been in our 42 years of marriage. I would say that every time, it's by no means been a perfect 42 years. I know
people will find that hard. People will find that unbelievable, in
but
fact.
You have remained constant and pragmatic with me. But also with the children. You look to the children as what you absolutely felt strongly about this, didn't you?
I did. I went back to work very briefly after having Matthew, and I enjoyed the work. I was running a training centre for people who are working in the civil service, and I enjoyed the work, and I got decent hours. I was doing 3 days a week, and my mother was looking after Matthew, and it was all okay. But actually, inside, I did not want this. I knew that I wanted to train the children, or the child as he was at that point, that I wanted to be the one that would coach him and train him and help him. And I was very surprised at that. And I think a lot of people were, because I think a lot of people thought that I would go back to work and I would just find someone to look after the children. And I think it took you by surprise as well.
It shocked me because I wasn't earning anything much then.
But we talked
37
about
years
it.
ago.
We talked about it, and we decided that
And you
actually.
we talked about it, and you decided what you were going to do.
Well, to be fair, we talked about it, and you said, you know what, you do what you would like to do.
That's what I said.
And I said, actually,
And I
I
went
would
to bed
like,
crying.
I would like to see if I could make it work. I think that was essentially it. I wanted to see if we could make it work.
And essentially, I think we did. And the children came, all three of them, after many stories that we'll tell another time. But you spent a lot of that time, 17 years, teaching other parents to be, why was that?
I had a friend who ran parenting classes, and she said to me one day, I need some help with one of the courses that I'm running. And I said, well, I've never been on any of these. She said, oh, you'll pick it up. Here's the book that goes with it. Just, keep ahead of it and just see how it goes. And it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed meeting the parents. And most of all, I enjoyed learning about parenting and myself learning some skills that would help. And I used to say to people, I run these parenting classes because I have 3 sons and I need every inch of help that I can get. And I just loved it. And I started off running a course for sort of up to 5-year-olds. Then it went from 5 to 11, and then it was the teenage course.
They came and filmed at our house.
They
didn't
did come and film at our house. They needed somewhere to.
Ordinary-looking house.
Yes, they needed a house to film the teenage parenting course in, and they decided on ours as being an ordinary house. And I prepared the house. They said we just need the lounge and the kitchen. That's all we need. So I cleared, surprisingly, all our stuff into the other rooms so that it was fine.
The Steinway Room, no doubt.
Yeah, to the Steinway Room. Shipped the family out because Jonathan had tonsillitis at the time. So shipped Jonathan and the boys out to my mother's house, and then welcomed the film crew into the house. And the first thing they said was, well, where's the piano? And I said, well, it's next door. And they said, oh, we need it. I said, but the room is full of boxes and piles of papers and things. And they said, it's all right. It makes it look more believable. So
when they filmed the house, it looked like we lived in a house of hoarders, which is not dissimilar. But then we skipped on to you did that, and you went back to training for a while, didn't you?
I did. I had been a training facilitator for the Ministry of Defence, and then a friend of mine knew that's what I did, and she asked if I would cover a course for her, and then, as they say, the rest is history. I was very fortunate.
But you had, and that was good. That was a great time. And I think actually that we don't have this much time, but how did your Christian faith, because you became a Christian, and that for people who aren't clear what that means, you decided that Jesus, you'd like to follow the patterns of Jesus that Jesus taught, become a disciple, become a follower of Jesus. You decided that at a little church in Leyland. In fact, that Al, who's listening tonight, he's church warden still of that church.
Yes, he is, yes.
And we knew him all those years ago. But you became in the big youth group there and everything else. When you took that to university, you've stayed being a Christian and you're convinced as a Christian that it affects your life. And tell us a bit about that and how that feeds into now the thing that you're doing now, because that's quite a calling.
Yeah. Yes, I'm very grateful that I became a Christian when I did. I was 14 at the time. And life has not been plain sailing all the way through. And I've had times when I have doubted, of course. And there's been a lot of times when I have struggled to understand what's going on. But I have always been very grateful that I can come back to the truth and the kernel of my faith, which is that Jesus lived and died. That's historically true. And that he rose again from the dead, because there is no other reason for him.
That's the faith.
That's the faith. That's what it comes back to nearly every time for me. And of course now it's been really helpful as I've carried on, as we've built up this ministry together with the one-man show and taking that round and just being able to trust God.
And into what has become one of your crowning glories of recent times, really.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought it at
Yes.
my great age that I would start another
You've
career?
buried 172 people
Yes, that's right. Yes,
so far.
yes.
I
As I said to someone the other day, because I'm a celebrant, not because I am a grave digger.
No. But that has really, as we finish, that has really characterised. It ties together.
It
would you
does.
say?
I would say it's like over my life that God has given me a toolbox, and in that toolbox he's gone, okay, you're going to need an understanding of people. Okay, you need to be able to interview people. So I spent years interviewing people in job centres. You're going to need to understand people's different kinds of backgrounds, different kinds of families. My parenting time. You're going to be confident to stand up in front of people, to speak in front of people, to prepare something. Again, back to my training and so on, and running your events, etc. And you're going to have to be the kind of person that can sit quietly and just listen to someone's story and distill it down for them and write it.
And then do the service.
And then do the service. Yes.
And you've really found a niche.
I've found a niche,
At
and
your-
I'm
at your tender
at my
age.
tender age of nearly 68, and I am so grateful, and I'm enjoying it so much. And every family I meet, it's a privilege, and
It's a
I'm
blessing,
grateful. It
actually, for
is.
you
It
as
is
well
a
as for
blessing
them.
for me as well as for them.
So you are an interesting person. I've always found you fascinating. You are a dichotomy, as we said at the beginning, and I think we should discover a little bit further. We just scratched the surface, really, of you, but it's always interesting for other people to know a bit about you, because it's always about JV. JV's on the tin, and I find it always a bit embarrassing, actually, when I know that this has always been a two-band ministry, at least, and now it's turning into many others who are helping to make this happen. I'm going to go and sing a song. So, David,
Okay.
you take this off the camera. I'll walk in. Thank you, Sue, for that.
My darling, thank you for asking me questions.
And so now we come towards the end of the evening, and I'm going to sing this one. And can you tell me, Sue, who this is for?
This is for Brenda and David. Poor David has had a stroke, and Brenda is his wife,
Yes.
and they live up in the
know.
northeast.
Northeast. Okay. And we always have happy memories of singing this in Thornley. And also with David and Erica, particularly David. God sent his son. They called him Jesus. He came to love, heal and forgive. He lived and died to buy my pardon. An empty grave is there to prove my Savior lives. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives,
and feel the pride and joy he gives. But greater still, the calm assurance this child can face uncertain days because he lives, because he lives. I can face tomorrow because he lives. All fear is gone because I know he holds the future, and life is worth living just because he lives. And then one day I'll cross the river, I'll fight life's final war with pain. And then as death gives way to victory, I'll see the light of glory, and I know he lives. Sing it with me now. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. Because I know who holds the future, and life is worth the living just because he lives, because he lives, he lives. Now, Sue's going to do a couple of notices just to say next week it's Sue Rinaldi, the lovely Sue's going to be coming into the new Steinway Room, beautiful singer-songwriter, worship leader, just a generally nice person, and she's coming into the show tomorrow, next week, Sunday, and we'll be setting up for her in the afternoon and then having a great time. Sue, any other notices for us?
I will quickly whiz through these because I know that you're a bit bored of hearing these like this. So we've had a wonderful time at Appledore and Beechwood Court. Now we're coming up to June. So we've got Kennet Valley, which is in Reading, for those of you in the area. 28th of June, we're doing another Christian Endeavour place over at Cromer. So that's Cromer Parish Church on the 28th. Please come along if you're in the area.
Love to see you.
Thornley Christian Hotel, we're at for a week, the 26th to the 2nd, 26th of July to the 2nd, and 23rd of August, hopefully in Paynton. Then in September, we've got Rossendale on the 6th, followed by the 12th in Troon. It's not up there, but that's where we are.
Scotland,
October.
so get up there.
Yes, and then in October, I think the first weekend in October, if I remember correctly, we are in Portsmouth area. Then we are up in Chesterfield for the 18th. And then at the end of October, we will be somewhere else. I can't remember where that is. And then end of November, we are back in Cheltenham. So that's where we're going to be. If you want to know where these dates are, etc., and how to find tickets for them, then you need to look on the website because that's where we have all the information. So that's jonathanveira.com. We have events section there, so that's what you need to look at. And if you have any questions, then try writing to me on sue@jonathanveira.com. And I'm a bit concerned about that at the moment. I'm struggling to get that email address working properly. So if that one doesn't work, try writing to Veira@talktalk.net. That's the other one. That's Veira@talktalk.net. I'm in the process of trying to get that sorted out. I'm just not sure it's completely
And
done
we've got
yet.
many in the new year put in already.
We have, yes. I just haven't got those in front of me yet. And so I think what we'll talk about is we have some Steinway dates coming up next week, as Jonathan said. We are looking forward to seeing Sue Rinaldi. Then in June, we're here on the 1st, the 15th, and the 22nd. But as before, we will make sure that we have...
22nd with Richard Lennox.
yes, we will make sure that we tell you about these things. And so, yes, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you've subscribed to that. And then we'll go over to the Community Way Day. That's the 19th of November. If you haven't already signed up for that, then this is how to do it. I am putting my head around a northern event, so watch this space, really, for me to think about that. And I think we're almost there. So, yes, that's the end of the notices. Jonathan, you've got the Got a Friend Trust banner in front of you.
Good great news. They've made nearly 100 grants out. The average amount is around about £250, goes up to other amounts that don't need to concern you, but just know that they're going on this week. And if anybody would like to apply, please just contact the information on this screen, I think. And if not, to contact me directly, and I'll put you in touch with Adrian, who can get the ball rolling. And I go sing, go peaceful in gentleness through the violence, and Sue's going to join me, of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways. Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame. God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes. God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. Shine on me. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you his peace, and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his peace. As we play out, we thank David for coming tonight.
We do.
And I think we're going to probably need him next week if he's around. But also, just to say, my dad is 93, I think, tomorrow. So
Happy birthday, Dad.
Although he's not going to see it, we're going in and we're going to sing him happy birthday.
We will.
However miserable he is. Let's hope he smiles as we sing him happy birthday to you at 93. God bless you.
Thank you,
See
everyone,
next
for
week.
joining us.
And
We love you
tell
all.
some friends and have some more join us next week. Thank you and good night.